What's up, guys? Welcome to day 2 of Cyber Camp. We're super excited that you guys came back for the second day. Want to remind you that tonight you're going to be doing an activity with Alyssa. You're going to be doing a craft with Hannah and Dakota. And then you're going to hear a lesson from Sam. Tonight you guys are going to be talking about Moses and the burning bush. So that should be really exciting. Just again, parents, we want to remind you that you can pause this video at any time. So while you're working on the craft, you can pause the video, or while you're working through the activity, you can pause the video then too. That's why we're doing it in this format, which is super awesome, super convenient. So I hope you guys have fun tonight. I hope that you guys have an exciting time with your parents or with your grandparents or whoever you're watching this video with. And I will see you guys at the end of the night. Have a good one.
Hey guys, welcome back to another night of Cyber Camp where we're out here camping in the wilderness. I'm here trying to make a campfire, but I think I'm doing something wrong. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing. Have you guys ever made a campfire before? Maybe you know more about fire than I do. Maybe you made one with like your parents or grandparents or your aunts and uncles. My favorite thing to do is to cook over it, but I don't think I'm gonna get much of anything out of this. Now, and maybe you know too that with fire, what you need to make a big fire is probably a lot of fuel, right? Like a lot of wood or paper or cardboard or even gas if you have like a grill or a fireplace that uses that. And like with any fire, the more fuel, the more wood or paper you put into it, and the more the fire burns, eventually it'll burn that stuff up and the fire will die unless you keep adding more wood and more paper, more stuff that keeps the fire burning. You know, fire it runs out at some point. But there was one time in the Bible where this didn't happen. There was a bush that was on fire and it just kept burning and burning and burning, and the bush didn't turn to ashes and the fire kept going. Maybe you guys already know about this story. This is the story of Moses and the burning bush. Now, you guys have heard of Moses before, probably, so you probably know more about him than I do, but let me give a quick recap on his story so we can get to our story. Moses was born an Israelite in Egypt at a time when the Israelites, the people of God, were slaves in Egypt. And Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, he was so scared of the people of God that he commanded that all the Israelite baby boys be thrown into the Nile River, which is really horrible. But Moses' mother and father saved him. They put him in this little boat and they sent him off down the river, and he was found by none other than Pharaoh's daughter, the princess. She took him and she raised Moses as her own, and he grew up in the king's house. And now one day when Moses was all grown up and he was a man, he saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, and a Hebrew is another name for an Israelite. This Egyptian was really just beating him and hurting him terribly, and so Moses wanted to help out another member of his people. So he quickly killed the Egyptian and then buried him in the sand. Now, Moses thought he did this without anybody seeing him, but it turns out the other Hebrews saw him, and he got in trouble with Pharaoh. Moses had to run away to a land called Midian, out in the wilderness, where he met a girl, he got married, and he became a shepherd of his father-in-law's sheep. And that's where our story comes in Exodus chapter 3, verses 1 through 12. It says, "One day Moses was taking care of Jethro's sheep. Jethro was the priest of Midian and also Moses' father-in-law. Moses led the sheep to the west side of the desert, and he came to Sinai, the mountain of God. There the angel of the Lord appeared to Moses in flames of fire coming out of a bush, probably much bigger than this fire. Moses saw the bush was on fire, but it was not burning up. So Moses said, 'I'll go closer to this strange thing. How can a bush continue burning without burning up?' The Lord saw Moses was coming to look at the bush. So God called to him from the bush, 'Moses, Moses.' And Moses said, 'Here I am.' Then God said, 'Do not come any closer. Take off your sandals. You are standing on holy ground. I am the God of your ancestors. I am the God of Abraham, the God of Jacob, and the God of Isaac.' Moses covered his face because he was too afraid to look at God. The Lord said, 'I have seen the trouble that my people have suffered in Egypt, and I've heard their cries when the Egyptian slave masters hurt them. I'm concerned about their pain. I've come down to save them from the Egyptians. I'll bring them out of that land, and I'll give them a good land with lots of room. This is a land where much food grows. It's the land of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, Hivites, and the Jebusites. I've heard the cries of the people of Israel, and I've seen the way the Egyptians have made life hard for them. So now I'm sending you to the king of Egypt. Go, bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. But Moses said to God, I'm not a great man. Why should I be the one to go to the king and lead the Israelites out of Egypt? And God said, I will be with you. This will be proof that I'm sending you. You will lead the people out of Egypt, and then all of you will worship me on this mountain. You see, Moses was scared and he was afraid because he knew he had done something wrong. And then he hid for many, many years from the king and from his own people. He felt like a failure, just like Elijah, who we talked about last night. And Moses just didn't feel like he was the right guy for this. Why would God send me instead of someone else who's better, who's more important? But once again, God had a plan for Moses, and he had forgiven Moses. He was giving him a second chance to do something right and to help his people. And so maybe in our own lives, we feel like we have to run away from something, or we feel lost, we feel like we don't know what to do next, or we just don't feel like the right person to do whatever thing God has called us to do. Maybe we just don't know what to do, but God still has a plan, and he still has direction, and he still gives us a second chance even when we mess up. And so our lesson for today is, even though we don't feel good enough to do what God calls us to do, he still loves us, and he still has a plan for us, and he will still, once again, he'll be with us to give us what we need. So if you feel alone, God will be with you. Well, I'm going to work on making a better fire, so I guess I better go do that. Bye, guys.
Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're making a fire. So in your buckets you'll have a little cardboard piece, some rocks, tissue paper, and a pencil. So first you're gonna take your cardboard piece, and then as Cody has right here, there's just rocks around it, and you can glue these on with regular school glue. If that doesn't work, also hot glue works really well, but make sure you have a parent present so you don't burn yourself. Cody's gonna show you how to do the tissue paper right now.
So you're gonna get the tissue paper and you're gonna put it on your pencil and just fold it down. Then you're gonna take your school glue and just put a little dab right there on your pencil, and then just stick it right there in the campfire. Take your pencil out, and that's how you do it.
And then once you got all your tissue paper in there, it should look something like this. And there you go. That's all we have for today. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Bye.
Bye.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another night of our Cyber Camp Virtual VBS. Today we are playing a super fun game that I enjoy so much. It is called Find the Campfire. So all you need for this is the campfire craft that you made. Mine looks a little bit different just because this is my own version, just as an example, but you're going to be using the campfire craft, so it's something that you made and now you get to play with it. How fun is that? So basically, first of all, you're going to need someone else to play this with. If you don't have anybody else to play this with, I'm an only child, I totally understand that. I don't know what to do for that. So maybe this isn't the gameplay, but you could also still do this virtually with someone over video chat. It'd be a little bit more complicated to do that, but you can figure it out because you guys are smart. So basically, we're doing this like we did the cup stacking, where you only have 1 minute to complete the challenge. So one person is going to hide the campfire. Now, if you're hiding it for younger kids, since we only have a minute to do it, I recommend hiding it in a more easily located place, like they can find it easier. For an older kid, you can make it as complicated as you want, because the more complicated it is, the more fun it is. But adjust it to the person's age that you're hiding it for. Or if you're doing it with like your whole family or something, one person hides it, and just make sure that it's a place that everyone can find it. So you can do this in a lot of different ways, but basically someone is going to go and hide the campfire. So they're just going to go, put it somewhere, and no one else is going to know where it is. So either cover your eyes or go in a different room or something like that. Someone is going to go hide the campfire, and then when they get back, they will start a timer for 1 minute, or you can just count to 60. And then everyone else, or just whoever else is going to find the campfire, has to go and find the campfire. So, oh look, I found it. It's right here. So, it's a pretty simple game, but you can feel free to put your own twist on it. I love doing scavenger hunts with my friends, and also hunting for Easter eggs and stuff like that. So feel free to make it as easy or challenging as you want, and just kind of make it your own game. Or just play what I told you to. That's fine too. But there's a lot of different ways you could do this, and you could add your own spin on things to make it more interesting. Whatever you would like.
Oh, hey guys. I hope you had fun tonight. I hope that the lesson was encouraging, that the craft was fun to put together, and that the activity was fun to work through with whoever you're watching this video with. Again, we hope that this has been really fun for you guys. This has been night 2 of Cyber Camp, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow night for the last night. Have a good night, guys.